Welcome to episode 108 of your CySA Plus Prepcast. Today's topic is the Open Source Security Testing Methodology Manual, or OSSTMM. This extensive framework offers security professionals a standardized, measurable, and repeatable approach to conducting thorough security assessments. Whether you are preparing for the CySA Plus certification or strengthening your organization's testing capabilities, understanding this methodology is essential. It ensures that every assessment, whether of a system, application, network, or facility, is conducted with scientific precision and documented in a structured, consistent manner. The methodology itself is not a software tool but a guidebook, a conceptual and procedural foundation for testing. Its purpose is to provide professionals with a set of instructions that go beyond traditional penetration testing. Instead of focusing narrowly on tools or vulnerabilities, this framework emphasizes how assessments are planned, executed, measured, and validated. Every action taken during a test should be defensible and repeatable. That is why this methodology has gained traction across sectors, looking for assurance that security practices are not just reactive, but grounded in proven methods. One of the core principles behind this methodology is the concept of measurable testing. The testing process must be free of guesswork and should rely on structured methods that produce clear, consistent results. For example, instead of simply stating that a system is secure or insecure, assessors must follow step-by-step procedures that confirm the presence or absence of specific controls. This scientific approach allows organizations to benchmark their current posture, measure progress over time, and replicate assessments under different conditions for validation. At the heart of the methodology are 5 operational security areas. These are information security, process security, internet technology security, communication security, and physical security. Each of these domains represents a different layer of an organization's infrastructure, and each introduces unique risks that must be assessed. The inclusion of both digital and physical considerations ensures a holistic review of how an organization protects itself from threats across its entire operational footprint. Beginning with information security, this area focuses on the protection of data in terms of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Evaluators assess how access is granted and revoked, how encryption is applied, how data is stored, and how it is transmitted. Are sensitive files encrypted at rest? Are proper authentication mechanisms in place? Are backups validated and secure? These are the kinds of questions that drive evaluations in this category. The goal is to determine whether systems and users are managing sensitive data in a way that prevents unauthorized access and ensures operational continuity. The second area is process security. This domain does not focus on hardware or software, but on people and procedures. It looks at how business operations are structured, how policies are enforced, and how workflows are managed. Insecure processes can introduce more risk than a misconfigured firewall. This part of the methodology helps identify procedural weaknesses, like lack of segregation of duties, unclear roles and responsibilities, or inconsistent incident response plans. It ensures that governance structures are not only documented, but also followed in practice. Internet technology security is the third domain. This area deals with infrastructure and services that are exposed to internal and external networks. It includes applications, servers, cloud environments, virtual machines, and other systems connected to the internet. This part of the methodology guides testers through assessments for known vulnerabilities such as buffer overflows, insecure authentication schemes, or outdated protocols. It helps ensure that systems facing users or attackers are built with resilience in mind and configured according to best practices. Communication security represents another critical layer. This domain addresses the protocols, channels, and systems used to transmit data. Whether information is traveling over a local area network or a public wireless access point, it must be secure in transit. Assessments in this area evaluate the use of encryption algorithms, secure tunneling methods, wireless configuration settings, and session protection mechanisms. Poorly protected communication channels can lead to eavesdropping, data leaks, or man-in-the-middle attacks, all of which are examined thoroughly using the methodology's structured processes. The fifth and final domain is physical security. Unlike the other areas, this domain assesses tangible barriers and physical access controls. It evaluates how buildings, rooms, cabinets, and devices are protected from unauthorized access. This includes checking for surveillance systems, badge entry controls, secure storage units, and environmental protections like fire suppression or temperature control. Even the most secure digital infrastructure can be compromised if someone can physically access the hardware and bypass all logical controls. What truly distinguishes this methodology from less formal approaches is its rigor. Each domain includes step-by-step procedures, clearly defined risk models, and structured reporting mechanisms. The goal is not only to identify risks, but to measure them against a consistent baseline. This allows different teams in different regions, or even across different organizations, to evaluate systems using the same language, same benchmarks, and same expectations. The outcome is not merely a list of vulnerabilities, but a quantifiable measurement of exposure, preparedness, and security maturity. Another key benefit is its alignment with compliance standards and audit frameworks. The methodology's structure maps well to major regulatory requirements, including those in finance, healthcare, and critical infrastructure. When organizations use this approach to conduct internal assessments, they are better positioned to meet external audit requirements, defend findings, and demonstrate due diligence. The consistency and repeatability of results make it easy for auditors to follow the logic behind findings, making it an ideal choice for organizations subject to frequent inspections or third-party evaluations. This methodology also encourages extensive documentation. Every test, result, and conclusion is expected to be recorded in a standardized format. Reports generated from the assessment include testing objectives, scope, findings, risk levels, remediation recommendations, and justifications for each decision. This is essential not only for transparency but also for ensuring that follow-up actions are based on clearly documented risks. The result is an assessment process that stands up to legal scrutiny, internal audit, and continuous improvement practices. Beyond technical implementation, the framework fosters a security culture grounded in evidence and accountability. Because the methodology requires planning, measurement, and verification, teams are trained to think in terms of process improvement rather than reactive fixes. Over time, organizations that embed this mindset into their operations see a cultural shift. Security becomes a process, not a project. Teams learn to ask the right questions, document their assumptions, and validate their results before drawing conclusions. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are more security courses on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Effective implementation of this methodology begins long before testing starts. The first step is careful planning and coordination among all involved parties. Security teams begin by defining assessment objectives that are specific, measurable, and realistic. This includes determining what systems, environments, or procedures will be tested, how they will be tested, and what outcomes are expected. Without clearly defined goals and scope, assessments risk becoming disorganized, incomplete, or misaligned with the organization's risk tolerance and business requirements. Equally important is identifying the testing methodologies to be used. This framework allows for a variety of assessment techniques, including manual review, automated scanning, observation, and direct interaction with systems. Testing teams must decide which techniques are appropriate based on the type of system being assessed, the operational environment, and any regulatory or organizational constraints. Stakeholders should be briefed in advance about what will be tested, when the tests will occur, and how the results will be delivered and acted upon. Another common best practice is integrating these assessments into existing vulnerability management workflows. The results of each assessment should not sit in isolation, but should inform a broader understanding of enterprise risk. Risk managers, system owners, and compliance officers should collaborate to prioritize vulnerabilities based on criticality, likelihood of exploitation, and potential business impact. The findings must be used to drive decisions around patching, control enhancements, and policy revisions. Penetration testing plays a central role in the execution of this methodology. These tests are designed not only to discover vulnerabilities, but also to validate their exploitability. Security professionals simulate attacker behavior within clearly defined boundaries, to determine how far a real threat actor could potentially go. These simulations follow strict ethical and legal guidelines and are conducted with full transparency and oversight. This step separates theoretical weaknesses from actual exposure and adds credibility to the overall risk assessment. Thorough documentation is a critical requirement throughout the process. Each vulnerability discovered during an assessment must be accompanied by context, including the methodology used to uncover it, the environment in which it was found, and the business risks it represents. Reports also include detailed remediation guidance, tailored to the organization's specific configuration and operational posture. These records become essential artifacts in the organization's security history and are often used to inform future audits, compliance checks, or continuous improvement cycles. Once the assessment is complete, the findings should be integrated into operational systems that manage security and risk. This includes feeding data into platforms such as security information and event management systems, vulnerability scanners, asset inventories, and risk dashboards. By correlating the results with real-time threat data and asset criticality information, organizations gain a more complete picture of their security status. Integration ensures that vulnerabilities are not only documented, but actively tracked, reassessed, and remediated. Communication is another pillar of successful implementation. Test results must be clearly presented to different stakeholders, including system owners, developers, compliance teams, and senior management. The language used in reports must be appropriate for the audience, technical for engineers, and high-level for executives. Detailed explanations should accompany each finding, including how it was discovered, what systems it affects, the risks it introduces, and the steps required to resolve it. Without clear communication, even the most accurate findings may be ignored or misunderstood. Ongoing security requires continuous monitoring, which complements this methodology by addressing threats that emerge between assessments. Organizations should maintain real-time visibility through tools such as intrusion detection systems, endpoint monitoring platforms, and continuous scanning technologies. The framework reinforces the idea that assessments are not one-time events, but part of a recurring cycle of discovery, remediation, and verification. Continuous monitoring ensures that new risks are identified and addressed before they can be exploited. Proper training is essential to maintain assessment quality. Organizations must ensure that those performing the assessments are well-versed in the methodology, including the rationale behind each step, the techniques involved, and the reporting expectations. This training should be updated regularly to reflect new tools, emerging threats, and evolving best practices. Skilled assessors produce higher quality findings and are better equipped to communicate their results in ways that support both operational improvements and strategic planning. Finally, a mindset of continuous improvement is central to this methodology. Security assessments should not remain static. Organizations should periodically review their testing procedures, adjust scopes, refine reporting structures, and update threat models. Lessons learned from previous assessments should inform future ones. As new threats emerge and technologies evolve, so too must the assessment methodology. This ensures that the process remains relevant, accurate, and effective in detecting the latest vulnerabilities and misconfigurations. In summary, the methodology explored in this episode offers a robust and repeatable model for conducting security assessments that go beyond surface-level scans. It emphasizes planning, structured execution, risk-driven analysis, and actionable documentation. Whether the focus is on network infrastructure, applications, communication systems, physical assets, or operational processes, this framework offers a scientifically grounded approach to identifying and mitigating risks. It supports everything from compliance initiatives to executive decision-making and forms a critical part of any mature cybersecurity program. By mastering this methodology, you equip yourself with a powerful toolset that aligns with the core principles assessed on the CySA Plus exam. You gain the ability to assess systems thoroughly, report vulnerabilities clearly, and recommend mitigations that are aligned with both technical realities and business goals. You also help your organization improve its overall security posture in measurable, sustainable ways. This is more than exam prep. It is a professional standard that reinforces your credibility as a cybersecurity analyst. That brings us to the end of episode 108. Today we explored the 5 core security domains addressed by the open-source security testing methodology manual and examined the principles that make it a trusted standard in the cybersecurity industry. We covered how to plan, execute, document, and improve your assessments, and how this methodology integrates into broader risk and compliance frameworks. As you prepare for your CySA Plus certification, remember that understanding this methodology is not just useful, it is essential to being an effective analyst in a complex threat landscape. Stay tuned for more in-depth guidance, and thank you for continuing your journey with the CySA Plus Prepcast. Thanks for listening. To learn more about cybersecurity, please visit baremetalcyber.com. There you will find best-selling books, videos, and even more free cybersecurity training courses. Please subscribe to the Prepcast and our various podcasts. And thanks for listening.